shadow there, that's all. Tell us who you're with. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you're with, the different organizations that you're representing down here.
Okay, my name is Brian Hall. I am co-founder of Southern Oregon Constitutional Guard, sister chapter of Central Oregon Constitutional Guard. We fall under the command structure of Pacific Patriot Network, and we also work closely with the Josephine County Oath Keepers.
Okay. How long have you been in Burns?
I have been in and out of Burns for the past 3.5 weeks.
Mostly in, huh?
Yeah. I just go back. I'm a student, so I have to go back for class. But other than that, I've been here.
Where do you go to school?
Lane Community College in Eugene.
And did you know the Hammonds before all of this happened?
No, I did not, but I knew of the situation. And because of BJ Soper from our sister chapter, Central Oregon Constitutional Guard, I know through talking with him that he'd been working with the Hammonds, with the community, with the local infrastructure for a good 3 months before the rally that was about three weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was involved in another operation in Montana, so I wasn't able to be included in that with DJ and his guys, but we kept close tabs on it. And when he asked us to come out, we came out.
Were you here for the parade and rally?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did that go?
I think it went very well. I think there was a tremendous turnout. There was the atmosphere was really jovial and patriotic, and I think that the rally went very well.
Do you think you had a preponderance of the local community there?
Yes. I couldn't tell you how many had come from out of town and how many locals, but from my personal opinion, I believe that there were a good bit of locals there because I saw a lot of the faces that I've been seeing at the Committee of Safety meeting at the rally.
Were you surprised when the Bundys went and occupied the refuge?
Yes, very much so. It was definitely something that people were aware that there could be the potential of something like that happening, and we, I guess, tried to cover all of our bases to make sure that didn't happen. But in the end, we weren't able to. I mean, we can't control what individuals are going to do.
Right. I mean, you say something like that happening. Was that specific event on the list of possibilities?
I don't think that the specific event was on there, but there was always we had just taken into account and into the planning phase that there is the possibility of outside elements coming in and following a different agenda than that was set forth through the PPN structure.
So how did you react when that happened?
Well, my reaction was, I was cool, calm, and collected. We just tried to figure out, okay, this has happened. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to have to figure out how we can facilitate, keeping those people up there safe. Even though we didn't agree with the tactics that they took and the stance that they took, we agree with the message 100%. I think that it's brought that what they've done up there has brought the issues to light and put it in the global media circus, which it's just as much going to hurt what they're trying to do up there as what they're actually doing. But I think that the message that they're putting across is valid, and it's something that needs to be addressed.
And what have you done since then? What, on a regular, everyday basis, what do you do? Let's start there.
Well, I pretty much, we do we have a meet for a morning, have a morning brief. We get tasked out for the day. We go run patrols. We go and meet and greet with the guys from the FBI. We go up and meet and greet with the guys at the preserve. We go and we talk to the state police. We talk to the local sheriff's deputies, as well as all the assets from other departments that have been brought in from throughout the state. And that's usually a regular day for us. And it's just really trying to facilitate communication and keeping everybody in the know on all parties involved.
What's been your experience with the FBI with your meetings?
They're very, I mean, it's typical of what you would really think about when you would interact with the FBI. They're very reserved. They're not putting forth any information. They're trying to counterpoint anything that we put forward with just disinformation, basically. Just telling us one thing, telling us they'll send whatever, concerns that we have up their chain of command, but as of yet, we have heard nothing.
Yeah, that sounds about typical. Yeah, I mean, the big fear I'm having at this point is, we're already seeing that mass media has pretty much totally lost interest in this at this point. And if we don't keep alternative media and very virally keep alternative media keeping this public, almost like an Arab Spring kind of thing, that's when the fire's going to come down. They may even wait till spring. And that way, everybody's forgotten about what's going on, and then they can just create their own narrative like they did in Waco and Ruby Ridge.
Exactly. And from my personal reconnaissance patrols, I've found that they have definitely ramped up. They have staged a lot more equipment. They've staged a lot more personnel. So yeah, I think that they're just kind of getting ready. They're playing the waiting game. I think that they're just waiting back, and they're going to try to wait out maybe till the spring and till conditions are favorable in the media, because it'll be a non-issue at that point in the mainstream media. It'll be completely back page.
Yeah, I got some pictures came in last night of military trucks on flatbeds coming in there. Your kid's trying to call you again?
No, I'm just getting notices from Facebook.
Oh. Tell him to leave you alone. It keeps going on my end.
I'm sorry. It's affecting the audio at all.
Not as bad as it was yesterday. And on the live stream, I just posted a picture that I think Sergeant Major got of a military truck. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It doesn't look like an MRAP.
Okay, no, that was actually, so we tracked the trucker down. He had stopped to refuel for diesel. We talked to him. That was actually a brand new Bearcat made by Linco. It was coming straight from the factory and going somewhere on the coast. So.
Oh, right. Okay, so well, good. Then I'll just remove that, so we don't have to worry about that rumor anymore.
Yeah, that we made sure to check that out immediately.
I think I sent you some pictures that we took out there at the airport of some of the equipment they have.
Yeah, you were flying by there like 80 mile an hour, and I tried to slow it down enough to get a look. I couldn't tell. Looked like a lot of snowcats painted olive drab, but
I'll go get you some better ones this afternoon.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I can give you the stuff that I got today.
Oh, that'd be good.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I got we made them real nervous. I guess they called the state police on us. And I was at the airport, the actual municipal airport building, not over at the BLM substation or whatever that they have over there where their compound is. And I was just over there taking pictures, and we went in and checked out the building, and we're checking out the flight maps and stuff. And they had, called the state police. They were nervous, and hanging out.
Yeah, when our own government is nervous about its own people, you have to go. They probably know why.
That is a problem. Were you around this past Saturday?
I was.
Was there an incident? I heard tell that there was.
Okay, so there was an incident, and I'm not in the loop on this, and I'm not gonna confirm or deny that what exactly has happened, but Blaine Cooper's children have been taken from legal custody legal guardian custody that he left his kids and with his roommates, and CPS came, I'm guessing at the behest of the FBI, but that's unconfirmed, obviously, because we'll never get any information out of them to confirm or deny that. But yes, there was an incident. His children were taken into protective custody.
And do you know anything about the incident on Friday where the gentleman got arrested?
Yes, there was a gentleman, and there was a gentleman that came down in a Fish and Wildlife, I think it was a truck, and came down and I guess was just doing a supply run, getting food at the grocery store, but was arrested. And I don't know exactly what they charged him with, and but I did talk to the state police today, and they did say that they made sure that they followed, that they did not violate his rights, that they followed due process and did everything to the T. And that's the information that I got from state police today.
Okay. Have there been any other incidents, or is that just about it as far as?
Yeah, I believe that's as far as anything concerning the refuge goes. Yeah, those were the only two incidents.
What about in town? Has there been any other incidents, interactions?
It hasn't been anything out of the usual. It's been, the FBI, they've brought in a lot of unmarked vehicles, so they're just riding around town, taking pictures, following people. And really the only incidents that we get word of in town is that people are being followed, and they're concerned about it. And they want to know if it's us. And we have to, reassure them, no, it is not us. We ask the public, if anything like this happens, take pictures, get the license plate, get the make and model of the vehicle, try to get pictures of the driver and bring them to us. And we will, confirm or deny whether that was us or somebody else.
There was discussion of that at the rally today. People were still wondering who it might have been.
Are you guys are, I'm assuming you guys all have dash cams so you can make sure you have, documentation if you get messed with.
Right. And the thing is we haven't been harassed by law enforcement because of the fact that we've been so open and told everybody exactly what our intentions are, exactly what our plans are. We're not operating in the dark. We want everybody to know exactly what we're doing because we're doing the right thing here. We're here to help make sure that all of this comes to a peaceful resolution and a favorable resolution for the public.
Well, I've noticed to great effect over the last couple of weeks. It went from a little bit of community outrage to community getting behind us because, this is a little town in the middle of nowhere that was under kind of the boot on the throat of, apparently the judge and the local government and the BLM and federal government and on and on and on. And suddenly they have a voice.
Exactly. I think that's the one main positive thing that's come out of the refuge occupation is that it's given these people in this town the courage to step up and voice their opinion and say, you know what, this is wrong. And it's something that, it's sad that we've gotten to such a state in this country that you can't just come out and say what you feel because you're afraid of what others will think or do because of your beliefs.
And that was also brought up at the rally today. There are people that they wanted to be at the rally, but they were afraid.
Yes.
They're afraid of losing their job. They're afraid of what other retaliation might end up.
Yeah. And that's a very valid concern because unfortunately there are really people who are just vindictive and I don't know why. I don't understand why these people are like they are, but they just, if you don't agree with them, then they're gonna take it personally and go after you. And I totally believe that, and I respect the people who have decided to stay out and just face to face voice their support. But we're not asking people to step out and put themselves in jeopardy. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a main thing why we're here, while we're trying to facilitate the dialogue, because we don't want the community to have to put itself in a position to where they're having to really choose sides, because it's not about that. And it's really about the Hammonds. In my personal opinion, I think what the attention that's been brought to the Hammonds case is good, but what happened and the way that it was done hurt the potential outcome of what could have been done with the Hammonds. I think that there was the potential to possibly keep them from ever having to sit back and forth.
Yeah, that's a tough one. There's been, we talked to several people today throughout the town. I have no problem stopping people. I'm just talking to
sure.
them. And some of them are very good friends with the Hammonds, and that's where their problem is how the government is, using them as the example.
Exactly.
They're giving us a lot of other examples just in this area, and that is making the people, I don't want to say rise up, because that's not exactly accurate, but
it's waking them up, to for themselves, and not just picking what the local gossip is or the rumor mill and running with that as fact. They're getting like there's been so much conflict and between the mainstream media, underground media. Like the stories are completely different, and it's like people see that and they're like, okay, well, there's something. They might not agree with what's going on at the refuge. They might not even agree with us being here, but they know that there's something that's not right, just because of the conflict of dialogue that's going on. I mean, it's just
that's huge. Plus, you have, I've seen too many examples of alternative media coming in there to make news and not just report it. And we have sworn that we are there to unbiasedly report the information completely. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing and why you're there.
Hey, we appreciate what you do too, because without without people like you, the way that we operate, nobody would ever even know that we're doing what we're doing.
Exactly.
Well, I have to tell y'all, I did get a couple of comments today that they weren't all happy about people being in town from outside, but they were extremely happy about the fact that they're finding their voice, and it wouldn't have happened if y'all hadn't been here.
That's right. I mean, and that's the thing. I can live with that somebody might not want me in their town. I can live with that. If I felt that it was the majority of the population of this county that didn't want us here, we would not be here. But I feel from my personal interactions with law enforcement, with locals, that what we're doing here is the right thing. I was told by the state police today that if I wasn't out around the airport at the FBI compound taking pictures, I wasn't doing my job. I was not doing my job. If I was not collecting intelligence, if I was not figuring out who's going around town doing what, then I'm not doing my job. And we completely agreed that between PPN and the state police, at least from this guy's personal opinion, we're doing the exact same job. The exact same thing. I mean, it really is. We're going around doing the same thing, checking everybody out, making sure, well, not checking everybody out, but we're checking out the federal vehicles, keeping tabs on those guys, making sure that they're not disrupting the community any more than they already have.
Were you here when they barricaded the courthouse?
Yes.
And that was the sheriff and the judge?
I'm pretty sure, they're on the joint task force basically with the federal government. So I'm pretty sure DHS is involved, the FBI is involved. Almost every state law enforcement entity is involved as far as county and statewide. There are even city cops that are coming and volunteering to just stand post.
So, Sherry, when you get a chance, can you go out there and get me some video of just what, it's like, it's not like ISIS has shown up. It's why are they barricading things? That just doesn't even make good sense.
Well, I got a couple of snapshots today of the barricades to send to you. And it looks like they're preparing for World War III.
Well, today when I went up there, it looked like they had ramped down their security. They pulled back the barricade. They'd taken down the cyclone fence. But
that was up there earlier when I went by. So I had to come down after that.
Yeah, and this was just like maybe 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
We went out
and the courthouse is a county public building. They have no right to keep people from entering it.
And I think that they did have people in there because there were personal vehicles that weren't state or county or federal vehicles that were parked at the courthouse, and I think that there were locals in there. So at this point, I think they have ran down security at the courthouse, and I would suggest any locals going up there talking with, you know, whoever's in charge up there at this point in time, and just seeing, you know, talking to these guys and finding out that the guys up at the local sheriff's deputies, the state sheriff's deputies, the state police, you know, there's nothing to fear from those guys. They're just like us. They're stand up people from what I've experienced.
Well, that's actually really good to know, because when I went by there both yesterday and this morning, I felt intimidated. They were standing out there watching every vehicle, taking note of every vehicle, making me feel like I was not welcome to even drive down their street. You know, get away from the courthouse.
And that's like, I would just chalk that up to law enforcement culture. That's just a kind of thing. What you have to break the ice. You have to approach these guys, and you have to be, you know, just be yourself and talk to them on a personal level. And they come out of their shells, and they show their true colors, that they're just regular average Joes too. But as far as feds, you know,
I come from a family that has all kinds of law enforcement, and I got a nephew that's a state officer. My wife is a former deputy. My uncle was a county sheriff. Served in World War II, Iwo Jima. You know, all this kind of stuff. They were all very stand-up people. But it just seems the times have changed, and, you know, law enforcement is scared, and I don't know why. I mean, you could walk up to my Uncle Homer, who was a sheriff, at any time, the street, the grocery store, whatever, and you know, and it's the same with my local sheriff, who is an excellent elected guy. You know, one night I got agitated and got in some irritation and took off in my car 800 miles down the road, and he pulled me over and he says, what the hell is your problem? And he took me to my mom's house, which was way worse than taking me to jail.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's just pretty much become ingrained in police culture and law enforcement culture. It's that fear. I mean, the fear is spread pretty far and wide and laid on thick everywhere at this point.
But it is different from what it just like he was saying. My husband was chief of police down in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
He was 30-year Navy man. And he passed. But I know how he did things compared to now. And it is like,
Night and day.
It is. It is.
Well,
and I know it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's so many different little pieces that have gone into it. But yeah, we've gotten to the point where law enforcement is, unless it's on a real rural, like in rural areas, law enforcement is not incorporated into the community like it should be.
No, they're not. I live in the middle of Kentucky. You know, my sheriff is my neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes he'll call and goes, I think you're shooting in my direction too much. When we're out to target practicing, you guys need to change wind. But all right, I'm going to shut up and let you finish with and say your name again, sir.
My name is Brian Hall.
Brian Hall, okay. And I do want to do a station ID real fast. It's freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Redoubt News, and this is all being funded by Freedom Slips, Redoubt News, and Oath Keepers. So we can get the truth to you.
Yeah, and any donations they want to throw out there would be greatly appreciated. Brian, you've been terrific. I think I'm going to give you a break because you've just talked a lot with us, and I know that there's a couple other people that are willing to come in and chat with us. But thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I may catch you again. You're very articulate.
Thank you very much.
Okay, hold on, Mike. We're going to get somebody else in here. I know, I got to quit saying Mike, don't I? Who's next?
Probably me.
Okay. Okay. She's been doing all the cooking here. Check this out. Yeah, well.
Finally done. It's chicken though.
Go ahead and set the chair up. He was in the corner. So whatever is good for you.
Whatever works for you.
I appreciate you taking some time with us. Thank you. You good there, Nighthawk? Okay. We're going to ask you just to introduce yourself, tell us who you're with, and or representing, and start by telling us how you got here.
Oh, geez, that's easy. My name is Jenna Lynn. I am a part of quite a few different groups, but for here, I'm representing PPN while we're here.
Are you part of the Oath Keepers or
I'm part
3%?
of Oath Keepers, 3%, and getting involved with the Guard as well, but that's after this. So.
Okay.
But yeah, how I got here, I've been up here 3 weekends in a row from Friday to Monday, and this Friday came up and was supposed to leave being a holiday today, and I'm staying until the 25th. So
How far are you traveling from?
I'm in Douglas County, in Roseburg, so it's about 5+ hours to get here.
And were you here for the original parade and rally?
Yes, we were here for the we actually were watching it. So yeah, we were here when everybody gathered from after their starting point. Their ending point was at the same place. Where they had some people out there, and then we went over to the fairgrounds from there.
And did that all go as expected? Was that all good?
Not from the group I was with. We were called to just make sure everything went smoothly for everybody involved in the rally. We wanted everything to be peaceful and just for everybody to make sure that they got to do what they needed to do, say and be present, and have nothing negative go down.
So you were expecting something though?
No, our thing is we just wanted everybody to be. We didn't want anything to happen. You never know what's going to happen, but you err on the side of caution. So we were there to make sure everybody was safe and secure, and everybody got from point A to point B with zero interruption. When we got to the fairground, and they had their cameras, and everybody was talking there, that was when we learned about some of the guys being at the refuge, and then everything kind of changed from there.
So that was a total surprise to you?
For some of us, yeah. I'm not leadership, and the people that I was sent here with were not leadership, and our direction was specific instructions, and then all of a sudden it changed. So we had.
How did you feel about that?
It was at first I was pretty taken back. I felt that it was the wrong time. Our main focus was to show support for the Hammond family and for the community, and to show that we're all together and let these people have their say. I mean, this is their town, and this is where they live, and we all just wanted to be very proactive. If the Hammonds needed anything, we were here. When we found out about that, we felt that it took a little bit away, actually quite a lot away from the main focus. And that's the part that bothered some of the people that were on my team. Things changed up. We had different directions we had to go, be protecting other families. And we didn't understand what was going on because our information only came down at such and such time, and we weren't totally briefed on it, but we had to react and make sure people were safe. So it was quite different than what we expected. So you got to kind of go with the flow, I guess.
So, how's it been going since then? Do you feel like you have been accomplishing some positive things?
I think not this past weekend, but the weekend before, when we had our convoy that we put together, which I was also part of, when we went to the refuge, and our leadership spoke with people that were there, and the rest of us were just there for support to make sure everything was cool. After that convoy, And then after that to see the FBI agents, we had a convoy for that too. That started a little bit on rocky ground. FBI was very uncomfortable and pretty much made us know that. They were quite aggressive in their language as far as you need to leave, you don't belong here. And our leadership was very outspoken but polite and straight to the point. They said, we're here just to get dialogue going, and we're here as a presence just for peace, to make sure everybody, hopefully will come to the table and talk. So I think we accomplished a lot that weekend, this past weekend, but some things that had happened. We're just trying to make sure that nobody gets into an elevated state, whether it's someone that's out of state, someone that might be in town, somebody from anywhere.
You're referring to Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. We felt really horrible, and a lot of us that have children, families. I mean, all the guys are like, well, what if somebody did this to my wife or my children? And I'm like, dude, I'm not married, but I'm a mother of 4. So that makes me nervous. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. There's no reason, from my perspective, there's no reason that should have went down based on the information that I have. I'm not saying I have it all, but.
Well, that incident's pretty well known within your organization. Do you think it's well known outside within the community here?
If people are as in tune as they say they are to what's going on, I'm sure that most have heard of it. They might not know all the details. I mean, we're still waiting for details. But the gist of it, I'm sure they know something.
Should we remind them that we're recording in here?
I could.
Yeah, let's do that. Just for the
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? She's learning.
Fried chicken, wasn't it?
I actually did some pan sauteed chicken and put it in with some cream and mushroom soup with some spices and add some green beans and made some garlic buttered noodles on the side. So yeah. I lived off 2 breakfast burritos yesterday, and I was like, that's it, I'm cooking. I have tonight. I'm gonna hopefully make some elk fajitas and see how that goes over.
I gotta move in over here. Okay. We were discussing Mr. Cooper's children and the community. If they've heard about that, that could add an awful lot of tension and fear.
I'm sure it would, because then people would look at this and go, well, geez, if this can happen to someone in a certain light, high profile, it can happen to anybody. So we want to make sure that, I mean, the overreach isn't just now in land and water rights. Now that they're dipping into just reaching and grabbing for your, we just don't mess with people's families. We're a very tight knit group, and yesterday was all about everybody staying put, everybody being calm. Let's just wait for the information. Let's just talk, and that's how the day went yesterday. Pretty quiet.
But the information isn't forthcoming, is it?
As far as I know, information's in the loop somewhere. It's just a matter of, how long it takes to get from point A to point B, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
As soon as we have it, then we would be able to figure something out. And I'm sure on their end, since they are who they are, they're trying their best that once they get the information, they will be able to legally deal with it. And because the people that the children were left with were fine. They were in their own home with friends that they know. These people have been in Melissa's life for a while, so to me that's family. And I would never, I have certain people that would watch my children, absolutely. So there's a fine line being crossed right there. I think we just have to make sure that we point our focus in the correct direction. We don't want to make a misstatement accusing one if it's not that versus another. You don't want to overlook who actually is involved. So that's what we're waiting to see.
Have you met a lot of the locals?
I actually was one of the people that was out there shoveling out the fire hydrants. I actually went to church on Sunday with a sergeant major, to the church that me and my partner that I was with the first 2 weekends, where we actually dug up fire hydrants. So we're out in the community. I've met quite a few of the deputies and sheriffs from out of town, and they've all been extremely kind to me. People in the store are kind to me. When we go out to breakfast, everybody's polite and everybody's, smiles and we're glad you're here. So, I mean, I'm not getting any negative feedback. I've seen a couple of things, but nothing major, just people that might not know or understand or care to know. Kind of like people that drive home, put down the garage door, and they don't see anything, hear anything, and they don't care to. And that's their business. But so far, so good.
Constitution gives them those rights the same as it gives us these
Exactly.
others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met the sheriff?
Sheriff Ward?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, no. When we went to the basketball game the other night, he was sitting on the second bleacher up. He was there. He saw us there, but he didn't make a point to come say hello or anything. But no. All I've seen are his videos he's done and the speeches he's given, to certain people. So I would love to meet him.
Will you be at his meeting tomorrow?
We will be going to one thing today and the community meeting tomorrow. We're hoping to be at, absolutely, because we hear that there's some other people there and we'd really like to, if we can, absolutely. Whoever's here, definitely go.
Well, hopefully it'll be as enlightening as, well, I guess I should just say enlightening as we hope.
I'm hoping it's in a different direction than the last meeting that he held, which was at the high school. It seemed to be very negative and in one direction, and I really hope at some point this gentleman can find direction and hopefully get his community back on track and start it going in the right direction with the right people. And get everybody in contact with who they need to be in to get all this stuff done. I mean, he does hold the key right now. He can tell everybody else to back off, but this is his town, and he can take the reins and he can have it all go in the right direction.
Have you met Judge Grasty?
No, same thing, just like the judge said about, like I said, tomorrow is that opportunity to meet two people at one time.
Okay. Tell me about your kids. What age range are your kids in?
My kids age from 11 years old to 23.
So it's hard. You've got young children at home. It's very hard for you to be up here away from them.
It's difficult for anybody to take yourself away, whether it's children, grandchildren, spouses, friends. My job is huge. It's a part of my life that, that's my vacation where I go. I enjoy being there and trying to take a promotion on, and I can't do that until I'm done with this. And, you have mortgages and rent and bills and, being up here for 3 weeks, it's kind of like counting the days till bills are due, and it's a choice. And it's a hands down choice where to be, because if I don't do this, then there's may or may not be a house or a job to go to, because this is moving so rapidly in the last couple of years, seeing all these changes. I don't want my life to be any different other than me having the right to get up, get in my truck, go to work, enjoy my day, go play in the mountains, go fishing, whatever I want to do. And I just feel that if we don't make a stand and make sure that our rights are protected, no matter which one they are, they're all equally important. Somebody's got to do it. It might as well be me. Kind of like doing the dishes.
And doing the cooking.
And doing the cooking. And the cleaning, yes. All the above.
Well, these guys aren't like in the old boys network thinking that just because you're female, right?
No, ma'am. I mean, I have some pretty awesome guys here with me. They're like brothers. I'm the safest I ever am when I'm with these guys. And I'm blessed that I'm one of them. I'm not treated as well. She's just here to do this or that. We do everything together. And my gift to them. I'll make sure everything's tidy. I'm going to make sure you're fed and you're not eating that junk food. 'Cause I need you at your best. So it's just a gift. They don't assume anything. I could just sit there and do absolutely nothing if I wanted to. They just wouldn't eat as well.
So have you known most of these guys for quite a while?
I was at Sugar Pine. I was not medical there. I was tactical. So I was up on that mountain with a bunch of these guys with my gear, sleeping outside in the tents around the fire, just like they did. And that's how we all met.
You have a medical background?
I have medical from doing first aid, CPR. I went to dental assisting school, and I went to expanded function. So I know some about anesthetic. We had to deal with learning the bones and the muscles and this and that. And just over the years, having 4 children, you kind of get used to if someone's got a boo-boo. I'll never forget, I took my son to the emergency room. One day he fell off a skateboard. And the nurse goes, I don't know how to stitch that up. Please step aside. And they still gave me a bill after I put 6 stitches in him and anesthetic. I still got the bill. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'd done that at home if I had the stuff, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm getting more training in the medical side, so I have more than just one thing that I'm good at. So I will be someone that's always on the list to make sure I'm part of the team.
That sounds great. Nighthawk, you got anything?
Actually, I think that was absolutely awesome. You know, something, in my opinion, although a lot of my career has been logistics and communications, I've noticed a bit of a lack of logistics, and I don't know if it was because the nature of this thing kind of went sideways from what it was supposed to be. What do you think about that?
Do you mean as far as what happened with the refuge that way?
Yeah, you know, it started with you know the protest, and then they went and took over the refuge, and it seems like logistically, you know, I'm an organizational freak. I'm kind of PTSD about that. You know, I like to keep all my little squares together. You know, and because I live a life and run a radio station with 90 hosts and all that kind of stuff, if I wasn't like this, I wouldn't be successful at all at doing it. But oh wait, everybody's saying I forgot to put my audio on. Okay, so my audio is on the live stream. It just seems like some of these operations, in my opinion, would be more effective if they were if there was a little more logistic planning. So all of the right things are in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a certain amount of chess being played there.
I agree with you 100%. I'm a very OCD person myself. I like things planned, organized. I'll look for my keys 5 times and lock the door 5 times just so I know I have my keys in my hand. I would have loved to have seen the rally and then have that go and be a great success. And then everybody went about their business, and our focus, like I said, was the Hammond family and get all that stuff in a row. I know that they sent out paperwork as far as to the courts and everybody involved. I don't think that we knew what was going to go down. So it's kind of hard to be logistically ready for something that you never even anticipated happening, if that makes sense. I think once it did start, this part and our leadership has done a really great job behind the scenes, making sure no new people show up. Nobody new goes anywhere. If you're not a part of us when this starts, you don't upset the apple cart. We have a lot of paperwork to do. We have a lot of questions that we want answered, but a lot of times there's so many, like we said, they have the guys that are at the refuge. We have the FBI over here. We have the sheriff over here. And we're trying to facilitate all 3 of these. And nobody meeting us at the family table. And that's what we need to see happen. Once that happens, everything else is going to fall into place because everybody's going to give us the information, and we're going to find out who to send the information to and get these people back their land and make sure that the Indians are happy, people are happy, and the people that may not have been so happy because they didn't get their way, everything's still going to go smoothly. That's really the bottom line. And after all that, The main people we want to see get their land situated are the Hammonds. They're the ones that are sitting, not at home families. We want them home. And I know all that paperwork was done before the rally even happened. We were hoping that they were going to go.
Yeah, and exactly. And this, first of all, as everybody said almost everybody we talked to at the rally today, although I would have wished for a bigger turnout, but it is what it is.
It's a small town. They actually had a pretty good turnout for this size of town.
It was not put on mass media. It wasn't put on Facebook. It was only by word of mouth.
Actually, it was put on Facebook
Eventually,
according to the people today.
Yeah, we were the only one even covering it. So but again, I go back to this. I'm not criticizing what was going on down there. I'm just saying I would have wished for a bigger turnout so to stop more traffic. And Sherry's husband went out and he tried to talk somebody in the truck at the stoplight. Of course, the light turned green, but he asked him what was going on, and the dude just started laughing. And it's just I just hope this comes into a really good and fair conclusion. I know there's some native tribes involved here, and I wish they would actually join up instead of working separately, because if we work together, we get more done.
Absolutely.
What do you know about all that? Because
Patriot tribe?
Yeah, as far as their stance on this, it sounds negative.
One of their major problems or issues, not problems, is that they have had so many promissory notes, treaties written up that have never been fulfilled. Not one promise to these people was kept. And these people have all these things from their history of who they are, because their base is right here. The thing that they keep talking about is all these artifacts and everything that's at the refuge, and they're being destroyed or they're being touched or they're being moved, and nothing has happened to these things. And we're getting a hold of them today, not sure if we can, because this has been over the weekend we found this out. We want to invite them to meet us. We want to invite them to go out there. If you'd like to take your things, great. If you see where they are from the way that they've been since the day that place had started, and when the BLM took over, see where they put your stuff. Right now, it's being protected by people that don't want anything harmed. They want everything given back to who it belongs. So for them, I think they're being so misinformed for so many years of not being given what they should have. No promises being kept. They're kind of disgruntled about it. They don't have any belief in anybody telling them the truth right now. They need to open up and let us show them. Let our actions speak louder than words. Your stuff's right here. Let us help you. We want you to have control over this. They need to come out and let that happen.
Yeah, and I understand that myself. People that know me know my history and, where my family's from. But, it's like there's a lot of ways. One thing that we can never change is history. One thing we can always change is our direction into the future. And if we could start getting a meeting of the real people of this world, the real human beings that are trying to regain their freedom after year, because this has been going on for at least, almost immediately after the Revolutionary War. The battle has been going to remove, even though we, after the Revolutionary War, we gave the power back to the people, but it was immediately trying to be removed by bankers and corrupt individuals. And it's gotten to the point, it's gotten like that almost completely again. We're in a worse situation now in America than we were under King George, with taxation, no representation, and just complete corruption.
It's very backwards. Once you had that, and then you had the Industrial Revolution, and then you saw other countries kind of do what people here wanted to do, and they said, well, we can't do this right now. We take a longer period of time to get all this done so that people don't see it happening. They might not recognize it if we just take 3-4 decades to do it, as opposed to what Hitler did, and he just jumped in and boom. I'm just saying, I mean, I remember seeing things when I was a kid. I was going, I don't think this is right. And I used to question, and my parents are not, they're followers, they're not leaders. So
Mhm.
they're always the one going for the one who would say, oh, well, you know, you need more money. Everybody needs the same thing. It's not going to work that way. You have to give people what they've earned, and that's just the way it goes.
Right. Hey, Mike, I'm going to have to plug in. My phone is yelling at me. Are you still there? Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to come out here and ask him to if I disconnect, it's not intentional. Hold on. Could you, what? Sorry. Everybody say hi. The phone dies.
Hi, Revolution Radio.
No, I'm just back over here looking at this great food again. Check this out. There you go. You are going to just wish you were here, huh? Here he comes. I think I'm going to let Jenna eat. Who's next, guys? Just got to find me a plug back here. Yeah. Grab me the next person. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course on the live stream, I didn't have my mic. I tried to keep my mic muted on the live stream because it gives this like kind of echo. It gets this echoey thing going on, and then people go, "All right, is this scripted? Is this FBI or something like that or whatever?" You know, I get that. I really do get those comments in the chat, and the reason, yeah, and it's like, listen, when I know what it sounds like. When I got my mic open on the live stream, it's like, you get the echo to a certain degree. So anyway, I'll stand by. Just keep going until you get plugged in.
Yeah, you have fun because I think we found one.
Run with it. Okay. We're just going to feed this in this way.
Okay.
That way you can sit there still.
With
With or without the shower running.
There we go. We've got power.
All right, Miss Mandy, are you up?
Who's up?
No?
No, they found me an extension cord, dear.
Oh. Well, the other two still aren't back yet. So
yeah, the two that wanted to speak are not back yet. How about we let the phone charge for a bit and I get back to you as soon as I get here. Okay. Sounds great. Thanks.
All right, Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, straight out of Burns, Oregon. We've been interviewing members of PPN, and we're going to continue to do this here in a few. We're waiting on a couple people to show up and a cell phone to charge. We will be back. So don't fret. Everybody goes, well, okay, why are you going off air? Well, we got nothing to broadcast, and there's no need to waste bandwidth. So we will be back as fast as we can. Freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Oath Keepers, and Readout News. We will see you when we get back.
back.